Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. It's Sunday night, which means it's trad beer night, and the beer we're going for tonight is from Shepherd Neame. It's this one. It is the Bear Island East Coast Pale Ale, and it contains Boudica, Amarillo and Cascade hops, and it's 4.8% ABV. It's available in your local Tesco on the 4 for £6 deal, and it says on the back of the bottle that it is a deep gold pale ale boasting citrus aromas, light caramel notes and a robust bitterness. Bear Island blends the best of British and US hops. Now, the last non-trad Shepherd Neame beer I had was the New Dawn Citrus IPA, and that was, shall we say, found wanting. I'm hoping this one redeems Shepherd Neame in that sense. They're proper traditional beers like Master Brew and 1698 and Spitfire are absolutely divine. But the dabbling in the modern stuff didn't work quite so well for me from New Dawn's perspective. So hopefully this one is good. It does mention on the ingredients list though, and I spotted this and I thought, glucose syrup. I'm expecting some sweetness that perhaps I'm not wanting. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, let's get it out into a glass and see what we think before we pass judgment. So, we are pouring into my Titanic Anytime IPA glass today. The pour is pale, not overly pale, which is a good thing for me. If we can get a bit of a head going. There we are. A bit too much, but what can you do? So, first impressions, that is a good looking beer. You know, it's the right colour. It's crystal clear. We've got some nice carbonation rolling up from the nucleation points at the bottom. You can see my mug through it, which, take it or leave it, that's a good or a bad thing. You've got a nice solid 1.5 to 2 fingers of whitish head that's relatively tight and compact. It looks good. And upon pouring, I got a bit of a whiff. So let's go in for a closer one. It is citrus. You've got orange, you've got hints of grapefruit, you've got a little bit of zesty lemon. You get a little bit of malt come through in the background, but it is hop forward, which, you know, for a modern hoppy or pale ale, you kind of want that. So yeah, it looks good, smells good. What's it taste like? Let's find out. Cheers. Redemption is what it tastes like. It's much better than the New Dawn. It is medium weight, quite nice. Excitable carbonation, soft in the mouth, but a little bit fizzy. The flavours are lighter than I was expecting, but at the same time, it's not too light. It is sweet, and there is that citrus hop right at the front of the flavour profile. The malts are there, but they are very much playing second fiddle to the hops, and it's very balanced. It's very safe, I will say. And it mentions a robust bitterness. I take a little bit of issue with that. It's not overly bitter. It's very light on the bitterness. For me, there is a slight resinous sort of bitterness there. The bitterness that is there, sorry, is quite resinous. It's quite nice. It's very drinkable. I will say that much. There is, however, on the back end, that sugary sweetness coming through that I'm not a big fan of, I must say. I get it a lot in alcohol-free beers, the sugary, sweet crystal malt. With this, it's just more like sugar. It's like having a cup of tea that's got too much in. It's noticeable, and it takes away from the good parts of the beer. That said, it's quite dry on the finish as well. It's hoppy enough, don't get me wrong, but it's yeah, whilst it's better than the New Dawn, it's not as good as the stuff like Spitfire in 1698. Yeah, safe. Anyway, let's give it some points for Bear Island. East Coast Pale, Boudica, Amarillo and Cascade hops. Well, that's that. Let's go to the scoreboard of joy, which says that Bear Island from Shepherd Neame has had 9,900 check-ins and an average score of 3.33 recurring, which is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of check-ins for one of the mainstream brewery's lesser-known beers, and a pretty average score. My scoreboard of joy is currently blank, as it always is, providing I remember to fill it in any form. So let's start with some points on the appearance. I cannot fault it. It looks like a traditional pale ale should. It's golden. It's clear as a bell. You've got bloody good head retention, I must say. Some of that obviously is coming from the nucleation and replenishing it from the bottom. But you know, as a bottled beer goes, that head retention is bang on. I can't fault the looks. It's going to get a full point off the bat for that. The aroma is quite pleasant. Let's go back to the bottle. It boasts citrus aromas. That is true. It does have citrus aromas. You get orange up front. You get a little bit of pithy grapefruit, and that's going to be coming from the Cascade. And just a little hint of lemon, but it's mostly orange and that little bit of pithy grapefruit behind it. I like it. I wish there was a bit more malt though, and a good pale ale. And let's be honest, there are some very, very good traditional pale ales out there, like Timmy Taylor's Landlord for one. You get a much more rounded nose on the beer. You get those malts coming through that support the hops, and it's just teamwork. This is hop forward and sweet on the nose. It's nice enough. Could be better though. I'm going to give it the 0.5. The body, can't fault it. You know, it's medium weight. It's smooth enough. You've got an excitable carbonation. Just lets what flavour there is just dance around the mouth quite nicely. I would like a little bit less carbonation though. That's the only criticism I've got. I'm going to give it the 0.75. Taste, well, like I say, it starts out alright the first sip. It tastes much like a pale ale should. You get the hops, you get a bit of the citrus, then you get the sugar. And that's the bit I take issue with. I do take issue with that. I like it though, up until the point that sugary sort of sweetness comes in. What should I give it? I'm going to give it the half. You know, that sugary sweetness just takes away, again, as I mentioned, from the good points. And the finish. I like the dryness. I will give it that. I don't like the sugary sweetness. I'm missing the malts on the back end. You know, after the hops have done their thing, I expect the malt. And I'm getting none of it. I'm just getting that artificial something. And yeah, it's not good for me. I'm going to give it the 0.25. That is the weakest point of the beer. You know, it's just lacking all the good things I like in a finish on a pale ale of any kind. East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, South Coast, Central. Who cares? It's lacking all the good bits. Anyway, that gives the Bear Island from Shepherd Neame 1, 2, 3 out of 5 on my Untapped scoreboard of joy, which is lower than the average score of 3.33 recurring. To my taste buds, it's better than the New Dawn, but it's not massively better than the New Dawn. It's certainly not a patch on what Shepherd Neame are capable of. So yeah, I think I will avoid these newer ones and just stick to what I know Shepherd Neame are good at, and that's things like Spitfire. You know, the twiggy ales, as people call them. I love them. Love them to bits. Even their regular IPA, that's a good one. Double stout, brilliant. But Bear Island, not so much. Anyway, it's a shame because I don't like buying beers that I generally don't get on with too much. Feels like money wasted, but hey, it's part of the journey. So I find these beers and hopefully find good ones. If I find bad ones, I'll let you know, and hopefully you don't have to waste your money on them. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, be upstanding for the beer, because that has been the beer. I've been Nick. Those down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You got the like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish, and I will see you again soon for another video.